to Prep Rally 2017-18. I'm Jeff Letofsky. I'm the Prep Sports Editor at the Pueblo Chieftain, along with Jeff Bersch and Craig Sesker, two of our new staff writers in the sports department. What we're going to talk about today is some of the coverage that will be given to you this fall, and that includes 9 sports, and both boys and girls. And so the football obviously is one of the biggest sports that we cover in the fall, but we also have golf, we have boys soccer, we have boys tennis, we have gymnastics, we have softball, we have boys and girls cross country, and I think I'm missing one. But we have 9 sports that we're going to cover, and we're going to do a great job for you, and we're going to give you everything we have as far as the coverage is in Pueblo and the surrounding areas. I wanted to introduce both my colleagues here, Jeff Bersch and Craig Sesker. They both come from Iowa, and I just wanted to get a comment or two from them and some of their history and what brought them to Pueblo. And to start with, and I'll start with Jeff Bersch first. He'll be covering football for us in the fall. He'll be our main writer. Jeff, what brought you here?
I came to Pueblo after a couple of years in Montana. I've also worked in Fort Collins for about 10 years. Worked in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, so I've kind of been all over. Started here in April. Definitely looking forward to starting coverage of high school football. We're a couple weeks in, a weekend, I guess. It's been fun so far. I'm looking forward to it.
And Craig Sesker, he's also a Midwestern guy, and he's a big wrestler coverage. He's covered major wrestling, not only throughout the country, but internationally as well. Tell us about that a little bit, Craig.
Well, the first thing, we're going to turn Jeff into a Hawkeye fan during the football season. So
I like him already.
he does like Iowa. So I've also been around a number of different places. I worked in Burlington, Iowa as a sports writer, and then I was in Omaha, Nebraska at the World Herald. I came out here in 2006 to Colorado Springs and worked at USA Wrestling, and then I spent a year at the Gazette in Colorado Springs, and then I came here in June. And wrestling is going to be kind of my main area of focus. Right now I'm just doing a number of sports in the fall.
Right. As you can see, we have plenty of experience for our coverage, during the fall season. And Craig mentioned during the winter season he's going to be covering wrestling. I'll be covering basketball along with Jeff, and then during the spring season I'll be covering baseball. But obviously we have a lot of sports to cover during the course of the year. We do want to talk a little bit about the fall. Obviously football is the big sport here in Pueblo, and we do have a couple teams that are really are ranked in the top 10 and teams to look for. And the number 1 team that we're watching obviously is Pueblo East, who's won 3 state titles in a row and going for a 4-peat. Although they opened the season with a loss, it's non-league. So East is one of those teams to follow that we're going to follow closely all year. I'm going to let Jeff talk about a couple of the teams to really watch for here in Pueblo in the 4A level.
Yeah, like Jeff mentioned, East obviously is coming off 3 straight state championships, coming off a loss to Longmont in that opener, but they've been there and done that before. I think 2 years ago they lost to Longmont in the opener and still came back and won a state title. So, I think they're young. They're only going to get better as the season goes along, so they're definitely someone to keep an eye on. Also, Pueblo South's been really impressive so far, 2 games in. They had a 0-week win at Wheat Ridge. 42-0, came back and beat Centennial 35-0, so 2 games, 77-0. Defense is playing great, and they have a lot of weapons on offense. Another team, Pueblo West, they're ranked 10th in 4A this week. They were pretty impressive, at least in the first half last week against Pueblo County, 21-0 at halftime. It was kind of an even second half, but I think maybe they let up a little bit and allowed Pueblo County to kind of get back in the game a little bit. But those 2 teams play next week at Dutch Clark, it's not at Dutch Clark, it's out at West, same night as the Bell game. So two big games in town next week, and there's a big one this week too. We have East and Pueblo West, two ranked teams there too. So week in, week out, there's definitely a lot to look for in prep football here in Pueblo.
Right, and then obviously there's plenty of sports that we're going to be following. I just want to mention a little bit about the golf season. Golf season started in early August, and we're only 10 or 11 days away from the regionals in the 4A. And Pueblo County has dominated thus far through the golf season. team-wise, they've pretty much locked up the South Central League team race. There is an individual race still at battle, and it's between teammates Andrew Egan and Brock Rodriguez, and they're within one stroke with one tournament to play in the South Central League, and that goes next week, the East Invitational. So there's plenty on our plate, and we're looking forward to covering everything each week for you. And we also wanted to mention that we do have Facebook Live next week for Prep Rally 2017 and 18, and we look forward to bringing that to you as well.